Welcome to On With The Show, where we delve into the intriguing stories that have shaped the world of performing arts. I'm your host, Leo Sullivan. Join me as we once again enter a Hollywood courtroom with a case that would pit Hollywood royalty Raquel Welch against movie studio Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, challenging assumptions about stardom, studio power, and what happens when a woman in her 40s refuses to go quietly. So, without further ado, let's dive into the spotlight and explore the stories behind the curtain. This is On With The Show. It was just after 8:30 a.m. Friday, 19th December 1980, when Raquel Welch arrived at the MGM studio lot in Los Angeles to film Cannery, the studio's adaptation of the John Steinbeck novel, in which she was starring in the lead role of sex worker Susie DeSoto. 48 hours later, her contract was terminated. Raquel Welch was born Jo Raquel Tejeda in Chicago on September 5, 1940. Her father was a Bolivian aeronautical engineer, her mother of English descent. The family moved to San Diego when she was young, and by the time she entered her 20s, Raquel had adopted her husband's surname, Welch, and began working in modelling and television. Her breakthrough came in the 1960s in 1 Million Years BC, where she appeared in a fur bikini and spoke only a handful of lines. It made her instantly famous. From then on, she was cast in roles that emphasized her appearance more than her ability. Through the 1970s, Raquel took on a variety of roles, often in comedies or action films. She worked consistently and built a reputation as a reliable, if uncompromising, professional. By the end of the decade, she'd grown more selective. She turned down film work, focusing instead on television, including a project where she served as both lead actress and producer. She was 40 years old when she was offered the chance to star in Cannery. It was a prestige project, and it promised a more dramatic role than she was usually given. The character of Susie, a down-and-out sex worker in a dilapidated coastal town. The project had been developed over several years by producer Michael Phillips and screenwriter-director David Ward. Based on two John Steinbeck novellas, Cannery and Sweet Thursday, it was meant to be a character-driven story. But they had trouble attracting finance. Studios were hesitant. The story was offbeat, and Ward, though a successful screenwriter, had never directed a commercial film. In early 1980, MGM finally agreed to produce the film, but they had one major condition: the female lead had to be a star. Raquel Welch was chosen for both her name recognition and her willingness to take the role seriously. Raquel saw it as an opportunity to shift her career towards more serious material. She auditioned for the part, something she rarely had to do, and she even agreed to perform nude scenes, which she had always refused in the past. The deal was formalized through Raquel Welch Productions Incorporated, a loan-out company used for tax purposes. Her contract, dated October 1980, included a pay-or-play clause. Even if the production ended or she was replaced, she would be paid, unless she violated the terms. Her fee was $250,000, roughly $970,000 in today's money. The agreement also guaranteed her a star trailer, her preferred makeup and hair team, and a daily prep window of up to 3 hours. Raquel was enthusiastic. She participated in rehearsals, worked closely with the costume designer, and gave every indication that she wanted the project to succeed. Filming began on December 1st. Raquel's first day on set was Thursday, December 4th. There were delays that day, and she spent much of it waiting. The next few days followed a similar pattern: short scenes, limited time on camera, and minimal dialogue. Behind the scenes, there were tensions. Cannery Row was over budget within days, and there was growing concern from MGM about Ward's lack of experience as a director. Ward and Phillips reportedly felt that Welch's long makeup schedule and her preference to prepare at home was slowing the production down. Raquel, for her part, had been permitted to do makeup at home, after raising concerns about the cramped trailer she was assigned. A studio makeup mirror was delivered to her house, and no one, at this stage, told her to stop. With mounting concerns, on December 18th, a meeting was held at MGM. Present were MGM President David Begelman, Phillips, and other executives. Begelman was reportedly frustrated with the production's progress and unconvinced by the footage he'd seen. According to testimony, Begelman was furious and demanded answers about the delays. Phillips told him Raquel was refusing to do her makeup on set and was not cooperating with the production schedule. He didn't mention that Raquel had only been doing her makeup at home for 3 days, or that the production team had agreed to it. Begelman ordered Phillips to call Raquel and tell her she was in breach of contract unless she agreed to do her makeup at the studio the next day. Her makeup time was also to be reduced to 2 hours instead of 3. Phillips made the call. In Raquel's account, he was panicked, describing Begelman as a killer who had a gun to his head. Shaken, she passed the phone to her husband, Andre Weinfeld. The message was clear: either she complied, or she was out. Raquel arrived the next day, early, ready, and in full makeup. Phillips informed the studio that she had disobeyed instructions, and MGM's general counsel was consulted, who notified Raquel that she was in substantial breach of contract. Her agent called the studio to de-escalate. According to those involved, the parties had reached what they thought was a resolution. Raquel would use a newly designated studio makeup room starting Monday. She would report at 6:30 a.m. and reduce her prep time. She and Phillips agreed to meet on Monday morning to move forward. Everyone seemed to believe the matter had been resolved. Then, on Sunday, December 21st, MGM fired her. She was replaced with immediate effect by Deborah Winger. The official reason for her termination, according to the studio, was breach of contract. Raquel wasn't convinced. The really Machiavellian part of this, she said later, is that Deborah and I were represented by the same agency. Raquel responded quickly, filing a $24 million lawsuit against MGM for breach of contract, conspiracy, slander, and bad faith. What they did was use me to get financing for the movie, she said. Then they dumped me for Deborah, which they'd been planning all along. At the time, the case drew significant media attention. But for Raquel, the stakes weren't just financial. Her entire professional career was on the line. Next time, on With the Show, we follow Raquel into court and into a legal battle that would stretch for years and test the boundaries of what actors could expect from their contracts and from the studios that hired them. If you're enjoying the series, consider following or sharing it with others